Hey there, Julia here. You may have noticed that I tend to mention from time to time that I mix and match nibs. Specifically, in like currently inked videos, I may say, this month I have this nib in this pen. It's because I love my JoWo nibs. I also have a growing collection of custom nib grinds that I like to get on these interchangeable JoWo nibs, but you also may be wondering, where do they go? How do I keep track of what grind is on what nib? How do I keep up with what's what? Stay tuned. I'll show you where I store everything, how I track it, and hopefully pass on some ideas if your collection is growing and you need some organization tips. Last time I shared my fountain pen collection, which yikes, may have been like a year ago. I had everything in these like clear pull-out drawers. Yes, I outgrew it. And so I have moved into a 10 drawer unit that I keep in the office, along with a 40 pen case where I keep my more affordable fountain pen collection. But in the 9th drawer of the white drawer unit, there is a different configuration. You open that drawer and it's more of a flat, gridded out situation where the other drawers I have lined with those pen trays. So this drawer is where I keep all of my JoWo nibs. I do keep other interchangeable nibs, like a couple of Bach nibs, my Schmidt nibs from my Banus, and a few of the nib units that I've ground myself up on top of that unit in this like mini sample vial holder. I think it looks really cool. But since most of the nibs that I have organized are JoWo nibs, let's just take a closer look at those. Okay, here is the drawer. And at first glance, it looks a little chaotic, but I promise there is a method to the madness here. So going from top to bottom, we have the different nib sizes. So right now, this is my extra fine column. This is fine, medium, broad, and stub. And then these are the custom nib grinds. And then across, we have all of the silver plated nibs. The second row are all of the gold plated nibs, and the bottom row is usually some sort of other. So for this one, here's a purple plated nib. These are all elastic or semi-flex nibs. You can see the little cutouts here. Same with this row. This is actually a flex nib. And then this one should be an elastic. And then this last little section here are kind of like, I don't even know, like a Mod Podge of things. Like I have the Lamy calligraphy nib that I'm not using right now. This little tube is for the Esterbrook SD with the button fill. Here we go. Anytime that I want to attach this little tube to the nib here. And then that's ready to go into the button fill Esterbrook. So this configuration is super helpful just at a glance when I'm considering a new pen, which nib size I want to grab. And it's also helpful to plan like what size nib I want to get custom nib grinds on. Usually you want to do grinds with a medium or a broad nib. And so I can look up here and see that I don't have, at least extra right now, I don't have any silver medium nibs or silver broad nibs. I can also see that I have lots of silver fine nibs, lots of medium gold nibs or gold plated nibs here. So though I have these written down somewhere too, I'll show you that in just a sec, I also have a system for my custom grinds. As you can see, there's some little color strips on these custom grind nibs. So with these, I use a paint marker or a paint pen. usually an Archer and Olive acrylograph or a Posca paint pen. I use those to just do a specific color around the outside of the nib unit. I know just because I made the system that this is a cursive smooth italic, but I also have a few other colors here. So I keep that information in my trusty pen and ink directory, which I have a whole video on how this pen and ink directory came to be and what all is inside. So I do have ink swatches and pen profiles in this directory, but in this front section, I have a couple of things that helps me with my nibs here. So here are a list of all of my custom grinds. I have the name of the grind, the pen that it's on. If it's a JoWo nib, I just don't put the pen that it's on and I just put a J over in this column here. If it's a B, then it's a Bach nib or a Benu Schmidt nib, and I'll notate whether it's Benu, but typically B just means Bach. And then I also write down who the Nibmeister was. And then as you can see, here are those colors. So very quickly I can say, ooh, I want to use a katana grind. It has a green stripe on it. Here it is, the katana grind with a green stripe on it. Super helpful. If I want to, I think the journaler I'm actually using right now in my Esterbrook SD, so that is not in here. As I said earlier, this aqua color, even though I have it on two different nibs, I know that they will both have that aqua color on it. Same thing, perspective grind. It's gonna be this one. And if you're curious, it stays like during cleaning. So I've cleaned pens since coming up with the system, and the paint stays on the nib unit. This is also how I keep up with how many interchangeable nibs I have. These are all the JoWo ones, what size they are, what color the finish is. And then if you can, yeah, you can see that it's shiny here. This is one-sided laminate. You can also use packing tape for this, but it's basically a whiteboard. Let's say that I got a custom grind on a fine silver nib. This isn't just a regular JoWo anymore, so I can go ahead and just erase that. And so now I have 3, but I don't have 3, I have 4. So we're just gonna put that back there. So I have a page for JoWos. It might be front and back. Yeah, front and back JoWo. I just don't feel the need to do the Bach or the Schmidt nib ones yet because I don't have that many, maybe like 4. So there's no need for a whole page for that. Before I give you a few more ideas for nib organization, I just wanted to show you how to place these nibs in a JoWo compatible pen, just in case you didn't know. So this is a maker pen. This is by Jonathan Brooks from Carolina Pen Company, but JoWo nibs can work in a slew of pens, so lots of maker pens, Esterbrook, Estes, Leonardo Momentos, Opus 88. There are a lot of them, but you simply unscrew it. This is how most of my pens look in their drawers. You grab a nib and you can see the threading here. This is where your cartridge or converter connects to. You just stick it in here. Hold the nib and feed pretty securely here and then twist the pen. And it'll stop. So from there, you can put your converter or your cartridge in there and you should be good to go. To uninstall a JoWo nib unit, same thing but reverse. You get a hold of the nib and feed, hold on securely, and then you unscrew the pin. And it'll come right out. Easy peasy. In that drawer unit, I also have in that very bottom drawer, space for loose nibs, loose housings, but they don't really need crazy organization just yet. There's not enough of it, and I can just look at it and pretty much see what I have, but definitely interested in your ideas for organizing those types of things. Some other ideas for organizing nibs if this is a little much. I found this little guy at an art store. These little small storage units here, and I can easily see like extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and you could put, I'm sure, a couple in here. Yeah, you could, lots. So this would be a more compact way of organizing less nibs, and that is super travel friendly. You can bring all your nibs along to like pin meets and whatnot. I've also seen nibs be stored in sample vials like this, but make sure that you label everything so you know what is in what sample vial. Or you could just use small little baggies. And this could be my extra fine silver baggie. And then I can keep them in a drawer, in a box, wherever. But yeah, that's what I have going on. Let me know about your own organization systems down in the comments, or lack thereof. No judgment here. Remember to like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more fountain pen, ink, planning, and journaling fun. If you want to see my latest fountain pen collection video, I'll leave that for you here. Or if you're more interested in what else I've got going on in this pen and ink directory, swatches, pen profiles, I'll leave that for you here to watch next. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.